Hello everyone, my name is Yuri from Mouse, and we are here at a very unique track since they redid it, where it's a Quick Park Zandvoort, and this track has a lot of banking. Feels like a roller coaster to drive. There's a couple of very particular lines, especially turn 3 where we're going over now, Huguenots. So without further ado, let's get into it and make sure we nail those qualifying laps, because you will need it around this track where overtaking is very difficult. Right, so here we are about to start our lap on Zandvoort. Used to be my old home track. So we are on a new version of the track. We have a lot of the banking corners. You'll see most of it in turn 3, where there's a couple different lanes and a car will bottom out a bit if you're on the Audi. Turn 1, trying to keep it tight, set up for a good exit. Keep it tight. Then enter from the right side. You'll feel the car bottom out. Try to shoot out of it. Then we get the sky block. Try to carry the momentum into it without clipping the gas on the left side. It's very easy to do. Wait for the car to rotate. Same thing here. Careful of too much braking and turning here. So light on the pedals. And then if you're struggling with the rear here, a late downshift helps you a lot. Braking on the left side at the curb here. A lot of curb on the right side. Careful of going too deep here. Careful of the gravel as well. A lot of speed through the last corner here with all the banking. And then easy flat to the line. That's the lap of the new Zandvoort track. Right, so let's have a closer look from the outside cam. Running into turn 1, just like to look at the 100 here, use that as my brake marker, depending on the grip conditions, the wind, everything like that. And then we just make sure that we don't go inside too early, but we want to make use of the banking. And then get to close to the curb on the inside, and in the middle of the corner you want to go on throttle a bit before you normally think you can. Again, because we have the banking and it kind of catches the car through the corner. So we're on throttle quite early while we're still turning quite a lot. These curbs here, they feel very flat, so we can just use them as part of the racing surface. Then for turn 2, we want to open up as much as possible, meaning as close to the grass as we can here. And we want to keep it tight, because here we get to, I think, one of the most unique corners in motorsport now. And if we go look at the corner a bit more, it's hard to see from here, but they kind of made this corner 3 different lanes. And all 3 lanes have different banking, and the banking doesn't gradually go up from the bottom to the top. So if you go in and you go straight a bit wider out of this corner, and you go straight from the bottom to the top, you will feel the car kind of hit this edge in the road a couple times. So what we want to do is we want to get to the right side and enter kind of near the stop lane already. So we don't have to drive over this edge in the road. And then when we're in this stop lane, we want to turn the car here, and what you'll see with the Audi, you see here, it will bottom out a bit. In some of the newer cars, you might be able to change it with the setup, because we have bump stops in the newer cars. In the older cars, so for example the Audi, BMW, Lamborghini, Porsche, there is no bump stop yet, so we can't regulate the ride height on the front when we hit these bumps. So it will bottom out a bit, it will feel weird, but it is still the fastest way to go through the corner. So enter from the right side, try to keep it high, and then try to not follow the inside line here, but from the outside, you want to send the car down a bit and go on throttle. So you want to be in the middle, you want to be on top here, but you don't want to follow that top white line. You see the rubber line goes a bit lower here as well. You want to go a bit to the bottom, and then it automatically flings you out back near the top again. And then we can use all of this here as a corner exit. So very tricky corner. One thing I will say, because we can carry a lot more speed on the entry here, you would say you leave yourself vulnerable to people sending it to the inside. But if you send it to the inside, you have to slow down quite a bit to go up the banking, because again, it goes into stages. So you don't leave the inside that vulnerable. And normally, if you take the outside here, you should have enough speed to carry it along the outside to prevent an overtake. Maybe the only time you have to be a bit careful is lap 1 when everything's super close together. Then here it's just easy flat, run up to Skavlock. And then Skavlock is tricky because it's a blind corner and we want to be close to the grass on the left side, but we don't want to clip it. It's very easy to clip this bit of grass here and lose the rear on the entry. Small tap on the brake and then let the car just roll into the corner. So maybe just let it roll into the corner, maybe tiny bit of brake depending on what your car behavior is. But we want to wait on the front end of the car so the car rotates. We can send it quite hard into the corner because again we have banking working with us. Then around the middle of the corner, back on power, use the curb on the exit again. Try to open up as much as you can to the left side here. And then we have kind of one very long right-hander, you never really stop turning. You get to this point here where you want to start braking again, but as you can see, we're not going in a straight line. That means we're going to have to brake very carefully. If you brake too hard, most likely the weight will go to the front tires and the rear will become very, very loose. So we brake tiny bit for quite a long time, slowly get to the inside. Now we do the same thing here. And if you feel like in these corners here the rear steps out, it can get very loose on the rear end, especially on the Audi and the Lambo. If the rear starts to step out here, delaying the downshift to closer to the apex will help a lot with the rear stability. Here, set up for a good exit. And we get to the last sector here. And you want to brake around the start of this curve here on the left side. Get to the inside. You can take a lot of this curve of the empty cut here on the right side. You have to be careful if you take too much as a slowdown, but it is quite far until you get that slowdown. Take a lot of that curve, and then here, careful. You see, I did a couple of attempts. I think what will happen in these races is that a lot of the gravel from the inside will end up on the track, like you see here as well, and then you lose a lot of grip. So in the race, just be mindful that you might get a lot of understeer here. If you get understeer, you're going to go off the preferred line on the inside and get off the cambered line too early. So you want to use that camber here still to get the car to rotate. If you understeer off that, it's very easy to just end up on the outside here towards the wall and then the car just stops turning completely. So be mindful of that in the race. I think a lot of people clip the gravel on the inside. And then we have the last proper corner here. It's only a small tap on the brake, a lot of banking again. So you try to carry the speed through here on throttle early, and the banking will catch the car. And then this is pretty much just a straight towards the start finish line. It's a lap around Zandvoort, and then let's have a look at Delta on how we exactly do that first section with our inputs. Right, so here we are at Delta. So we can see here we go, start finish line, turn 1, 3, 4. So we're gonna want to take a bigger look at this section here. So we want to tap the brake before going into turn 3. So that's the right hander. And then keep it tight, and careful with our throttle input. And then as you can see on top here, we want to keep it to the right side of the track. Small tap of the brake. We don't want to have too much aggressive here. And then slowly building up the power through here. And then when you feel like the car is really planted in the banking, floor it and the car will take it. So you want to take the outside line here completely, which looks very weird on the track. But if you see a corner like this, and you see the line is completely on the outside here, it looks like it's almost wet. So very unique and interesting corner. Right, so there we go. track guide around this legendary track that got updated with a lot of banking to keep the minimum speed in corners very high. A lot of fun to drive. You need to nail those qualifying laps around here because overtaking is quite difficult to do. So hopefully we went over how to gain all the time around the track. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see everyone next week for the next track guide.